If you're about to use the paint color Pale Oak on your walls, don't. Not until you've watched to the end of this video, because I may have an alternative paint color that will make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It's part of Benjamin Moore's newest Color Stories palette that I have been loving more and more recently. And also a big thanks to Benjamin Moore for sponsoring today's video as I go ahead and explain why I like one of their colors better than another. The truth is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Pale Oak as a color in a vacuum. In fact, it's been one of my go-to light neutrals to recommend to a lot of people. It has a wonderful combination of aspects that make it so usable because it's of course pale. It's in the name. It's not necessarily going to pull focus where you don't want to, which is a big problem with paint colors. A lot of my clients from the past would ask for a color that's like gray, but not too gray. And in most cases, that ends up being a warm gray like Pale Oak. That's obviously a generalization, but in general, it does a great job at being one of those quintessential grayish colors that are still quite popular today. I actually recently came across an excellent article on housebeautiful.com that goes into why Pale Oak is so popular. And this was written just under a year ago. So definitely worth a look if you're convinced it's your perfect color. And it may well be, but if you want to hear me out, I think I found an alternative that is a little more in tune with the times. All right, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. It's Strand of Pearls, CSP-395. And I gotta say, to me, this is Pale Oak 2.0. If you take the colors side by side, we do see a lot of similarities because you'll notice that they are those neutral gray beige types of colors. And that's pretty much why I decided to have them both in this video. The first difference you may or may not notice is a difference in lightness. And we can confirm this information by going onto the Benjamin Moore website and checking each color's LRV. Strand of Pearls is around 4 points higher, which means it reflects 4% more total light, making it lighter and more welcoming to me. You may also notice that Pale Oak almost looks to have a slight earthy brown red warmth compared to Strand of Pearl's more beigey gray warmth. And like a lot of you, I am seeing beige really coming back, you know? No more cool grays, am I right? My heart is cold enough. So let's briefly talk about why I like Strand of Pearls better than Pale Oak. It's not often that I say this color is better than that color because there are so many different situations where Pale Oak would be the superior choice. But in general, you really have quite a few things that make Strand of Pearls a more compelling choice overall. It's newer, new kid in town. It's part of the Benjamin Moore's CSP line, which not only are entirely unique and brand new colors, but they all have rather complex formulas or formulae. I think I got it right the first time. The CSP line is known to have many different colorants that go into each color, meaning they have a lot of depth hiding under the surface. Now, I know some of you might be tempted to match these awesome paint colors in another company's product, but I never seem to get those spot-on matches I'm looking for. This is especially the case for Strand of Pearls from the Color Stories collection. There's so many different colorants that are incorporated inside. The level of nuance is incomparable and simply unmatchable. If you want your Benjamin Moore colors to be exact, you're going to need to use Benjamin Moore paint. And there's a pretty hilarious commercial in the description down below if you want a really accurate depiction of what color matching gone wrong looks like. Really funny. Another aspect I enjoy about Strand of Pearls is the fact that it is lighter, which means it will play nice in those areas of your home that are a little more dimly lit. If you have less light to work with, it helps to have a paint color that can reflect more of that light in the space. But before I get to my final reason why Strand of Pearls takes the cake, I want to show some love to my Pale Oak diehards watching. This opinion is very much tied to my current taste in color palettes, which does not negate your opinion or the brand new Pale Oak paint job you just covered your hallway with. I'm sure that hallway looks amazing, but just like my face, I'm a warm and fuzzy guy. And that's kind of how I like my paint colors. The third reason I love Strand of Pearls is because of that added warmth. A lot of my personal design choices start with that base of warm undertones one way or another. So to have a color so similar to pale oak in its versatility, but with that warmth amped up, is a win. It really suits my whole Japandi aesthetic I'm trying to go for. Shoutouts to Nick Lewis as well for posting an Instagram reel recently about warm minimalism versus Japandi. Really interesting question he answered there. My Canadian brethren. He also did a great video about Japandi right over here. Tell him I sent ya. I'm just kidding. He's probably watching this too. Hi, Nick.